First of all, Tulsi Gabbard has a great team, right? She has a great team of people. Wow, she's got great videos. I love her campaign ads. They're always well put together. They always give you feeling. They elicit an emotional response. They're not full of a bunch of fluff. Some of them are inspirational, but most of them are substantive and inspirational. And she's always blunt. She's never beating around the bush. So I love them, and they're done well. And someone said, well, her husband produces them along with the team or whatever. So I was wow, that's great. So she's got a lot going for her campaign. And that's besides the fact that she's the most outspoken critic of war. She's our peace candidate. I think she's the most effective peace candidate in the race. Bernie's a second. And Bernie, I feel like Bernie's learning from her as well. I feel like it's great that we have more than one or two. We got a 2.5 progressive candidates in the race. It's great. So anyway, but one of the problems that she has is the same problem Bernie had in 2016, is that they love writing smear articles about her. Yeah, as soon as she starts to make any headway, they come another smear article. This time it comes from the Daily Beast. Another smear article, this one from the Daily Beast. And just check out the title of this article. Tulsi Gabbard's campaign is being boosted by Putin apologist. What does that even mean? They're still on this Russia nonsense, guys. That's all they talk about. That's all they got. They claim that donors to Tulsi Gabbard's campaign in the first quarter of the year included a person by the name of Stephen F. Cohen, a Russian studies professor of New York University, and a prominent Kremlin sympathizer. Look at that. A Kremlin sympathizer. A Kremlin sympathizer. Oh, God. What does that mean? That's so open-ended. What does that even mean, dude? I sympathize with the Kremlin. Okay. I sympathize with people that live in Prince George's County, Maryland, paying high taxes. I sympathize. What does that mean, though? I feel bad for them. No? Feel bad for people living in, places where they got hookworms. I keep hearing about it in Alabama. I feel bad for anybody who lives in Alabama right now, especially women. I sympathize. What's that mean? I sympathize with women who live in Georgia, who got to deal with these wacky laws. I sympathize. But in this case, since they don't like the Kremlin and they don't like Russia, you sympathizing with evil people. It's all a continuation of the smears that we've been hearing for the last 2.5 years. So they say, she took some money from someone. Meaning someone went to a website. It's not like she met him in a dark alley, right? And they were like, hey, Mrs. Gabbard, I got a briefcase full of money. I want you to be president and do our bidding. No, we're talking about $1,000 that was given on a website, dude. No one tracks you. No one knows you. No one's anyone can go up to a website and put money and donate money. Anyone. It's open. How do you stop that? Until it's brought to someone's attention, that's the only way you even know about it. I mean, I got great people who donate to my show, but they do it when they want to. And if they don't do it, or if they do it, and if they're evil, I don't go and see, well, who is this person? He gave me $10. Oh, someone gave me $1 super chat. Are they Russian? Who does that? And I know it's a little bit different for political campaigns. I get that. I understand it. But what I'm saying is they make it sound so nefarious. Like it's a clandestine meeting at 3 a.m. on the docks, by the river or something, and armed guards and I'm not mistaken, this is about $1,000 contribution. Tulsi Gabbard raised millions of dollars. You are really talking about $1,000 from a sympathizer. He's not even an official. He's not even Russian. He's just somebody who sympathizes with the Russians, according to you, which could be sympathize. It could be something like, I don't want to see Russians get slaughtered. That's all. It'd be nice if Russians didn't get slaughtered. That's sympathizing. A thought you have in your head that's Want somebody to get treated humanely or fairly in a situation. Having empathy, sympathy. That's all it is. It's not an overt act. What's the overt act? So anyway, back to this smear article written by this smear merchant, the Daily Beast. It says here, Gabbard is one of her party's more Russian-friendly voices in an era of deep democratic suspicion of the country, in its efforts to tip the 2016 election scale in the favor of President Donald Trump. Russian-friendly. So Tulsi Gabbard is Russian-friendly because, check this out, she doesn't believe that Russia stole our democracy. That makes her Russian-friendly. I mean, it's actually a fact. Actually, the findings of the Mueller report were that they did not change the outcome of our election. They tried probably as much as we tried to meddle in an election. Actually, probably a little less, because when we try, we try. I mean, we're top of your whole regime. We'll take people out. We literally take people out. We literally form invasions like we're trying to do in Venezuela, like we're trying to do in Iran right now. Okay. Data on Gabbard's financial supporters only covers the first 3 months of the year. In that time, her campaign received just over $1,000. Like I stated from Cohen, this person wrote an article about $1,000 changing hands that somebody gave on a website. And then you know what they do? Then they go through the painstaking smear tactic of bringing up David Duke said he liked her. How do you control when somebody likes you or don't like you? There are people right now watching this show who have people that like them that they don't like. You can't stop somebody from liking you. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do in life, but you can't stop somebody from liking you. You can stop you from liking somebody, but you can't stop another person from liking you. If you're a public person, there are people who like me that I don't like. It's gotta be one person here who talks with his hands with his lady. No one knows it but him. Whoever you are a scumbag. You're a low-life individual putting your hands on a woman. But that's not my fault. I don't have anywhere contributing to him liking me. I'm not like, hey, I want people who are abusive to follow my show. I don't. But if they like politics told straight and make you laugh and then it gets emotional and it gets ferocious and I don't pull punches, like they like that part about me, what? They're going to like my show. I can't control. But this scumbag reporter, if you want to call him that, this hitman with a pen, this smear artist with an internet connection, they blame Tulsi Gabbard for David Duke, and then they blame her for other people. Who else? Richard Spencer. Richard Spencer said something. Richard Spencer, the white supremacists, they say he founded the alt-right. He used the word one time. So they call him the alt-right founder. Richard Spencer, whatever. The point is, they start throwing all this stuff against the wall. That's when you know they got nothing. It's a 14, 15, how many? It's a 20. It's a lot of paragraphs, but already by the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraphs, they're already bringing up all the usual smears. It's like they just make photocopy or copy and paste all the other smear stuff from all the other articles and put it at the bottom to make the article look longer. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all to the same stuff. Oh, she met with Assad, and and she sat down. She wanted to meet with him, and she told she would sit down and talk to our enemies, and it's just ridiculous, man. They're even talking about Susan Sarandon in this article. Susan Sarandon, the famous actress who earned the enduring wrath of Democrats for support of Green Party, Jill Stein, gave Gabbard $500. They're smearing Tulsi Gabbard because Susan Sarandon gave her $500. That's how petty they are. That is how petty they are. Oh, evil Susan Sarandon. The activist who's probably done more activism than you've done in your whole life. You jackass scumbag. You crumb. You maggot. You cockroach. It's ridiculous. Then they say, then they smear her again for going on the Joe Rogan show. Hey, look, listen, Garrett's media strategy has been counterintuitive. That means smart. That means she just doesn't resign herself to only appearing on MSNBC, where she gets smeared every time she goes on. Pretty much. So now they want to make it a bad thing that she's come up with ways to get promoted or get publicity, to get the word out, without going through CNN and MSNBC. Now that's negative. Now if they liked her, they would call it gutsy, creative, relentless, tenacious. They would use those words. But since it's, we don't like her because she wants to end wars, they got to use terms like, it's counterintuitive for a national Democrat. To go on shows that reach more people than CNN's episodes. She's made several appearances on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. This person who wrote this is a piece of garbage. She's been on the Joe Rogan podcast twice. So now several is two. She's been there 2 times. She just went for the second time less than a week ago. But that makes her what? That makes her, what does that make her? I have a word for what it makes her. Ready? Smart. Here's another word. Savvy. Here's another word. Strategic. How about another word? Not dumb, like you and these other candidates. Like you go where the people are. Go where the people are. Then they go and they continue to smear. They say, and listen to this. It may be one of the most popular platforms. Here comes the backhanded compliment, but it's a haven for Trump supporting guests. They had to admit, because like I stated, Joe Rogan's podcast already has 1.4 million views. The one she just did a few days ago, less than a week ago, already has 1.4 million views. And that's when I saw it earlier today, because it could be more by now. So they can't knock that it reaches a lot of people. Now they say, well, some Trump supporters have been on it. I tell you, man, I believe it there, because I could go all night on that. The reality is that they're afraid of Tulsi Gabbard, because Tulsi Gabbard is the conscience that the Democratic Party doesn't want to ignore. She's a peace candidate. She's anti-war, anti-regime change war. Okay? She wants to tamp down on our military spending and redirect those monies to things like healthcare, schools, mental health, all of the things that we need in our societies, from helping it, cure opiate addiction to ending mass incarceration. She has a whole list of social programs that she's very interested in. In fact, I'm doing my best now to try to wake up the black community, and hopefully they'll listen to me, and they'll realize that I have their best interests at heart when I try to tell them that we got to stop listening to the CBC, the Congressional Black Caucus, and these other organizations that push the establishment candidates. We need to listen to these types of candidates that are willing to buck the trends and speak and fight for real change within the system, because what's happening now is not benefiting the black community at all. So that's sort of like what I've adopted to do for myself, as well as promote Bernie Sanders to do the same thing, because those are the candidates that will make change happen. Joe Biden ain't going to change nothing. Not going to change a damn thing. It's going to stay the same. That status quo, that's what he wants. So, Tulsi Gabbard, just keep doing what you're doing. They definitely, when you got smear articles by the Daily Beast and others, it's just because they're afraid of you. Like I stated, Tulsi Gabbard is the conscience of the Democratic Party that they want to ignore. It's like Democratic Party loves eating that war cake. And Tulsi Gabbard's like, look, that's not good for you. It's not good for us. It's not good for your family. It's not good for any of us. You don't need to eat that. The doctor said don't eat that, and you're eating that. And they're like, shut up, Tulsi, shut up. You know, I don't care about my diabetes. So what if I got to lose a foot? This cake tastes good. And Tulsi Gabbard's like, nah, I can't let you do it. And then they're like, get out of here. And eventually they get mad, get screaming mad. They want to fight her because she is telling them something that's important that's going to save not only their lives, but their kids' lives, the stability of the whole family, everything. So I hope that makes sense the way I put it. That's why I say she's the conscience of the Democratic Party. And they don't want a conscience. They want to be willing to do unfettered. They want to be as bad or inhumane as possible as they choose for profit. And there are a few people. Tulsi Gabbard is one of the leading people with war, when it comes to war and ending regime change wars, who's doing her best to kind of say, to convince them that that's not the way for the country to go. And you know what? If there are going to be many people across the globe who respect, appreciate, and even if it's tangentially, they support her candidacy, because we are the aggressor in these countries. And anyone that they think could possibly end that, who would not root for that? Who would not root for peace in the Middle East? All right, I'm going to leave it there, guys.